Hello and welcome in.
Please do not leave your luggage unattended on the station.
Welcome to the show.
Good morning. Happy Friday. I am your host for today's Guerilla Sport Daily, Liv Moods. We've got lots to discuss, and coming off of a late night, obviously football is back. We've had college football for about a week now, but we've got the NFL week one. Something in the air feels like the Broncos are maybe playing football this weekend. So of course, I had to rep my 5280, had to rep my Broncos today in studio, but we had a Thursday night football matchup between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Baltimore Ravens. And what an ending to that game. If you guys fell asleep and you didn't make it through the game, in typical fashion, if your bet's not doing well, if you're on the East Coast, I will tell you, this is maybe an unpopular opinion, but it shouldn't be. The Mountain time zone is the best time zone because of sports. The game starts at a reasonable hour, 6:30. It started last night. It's not too late. It's not too early. I think that Mountain Time is the most ideal time zone for sports. I will stand by that. But if you were on the East Coast, you probably fell asleep because there was a delay in that game due to some weather. I guess they had some thunder and some lightning, had to delay the game. So it was a late night. If you missed the ending, holy cow. Isaiah Likely. First of all, Lamar Jackson, I think a lot of people were frustrated because, as you know, the critics constantly say Lamar Jackson can't throw the ball, which is a crazy thing to say about a quarterback in the NFL that has won MVP more than once. That is a wild accusation. Lamar Jackson can't throw the ball. There were frustrated people because Zay Flowers, towards the end of the game, mind you, it's 20-27 at this point. The clock is running. They have very little time. Zay Flowers was wide open. Lamar Jackson missed him. It would have been a touchdown, honestly. But then Isaiah Likely, he goes for it. He grabs the ball. Actually, the play before this, I'm all over the place. The play before this, Isaiah Likely went down with what looked like a very brutal arm injury. Well, then he hopped back up, got back in the game, caught a ball, tiptoed it in. It was actually the most beautiful thing ever if it would have worked. But unfortunately, his toe was on the line. The Ravens could not send it into overtime. I had a lot of people on Twitter saying they would have gone for 2. Well, that would have been stupid. Go to overtime. But unfortunately, toe was on the line. Really tough. If you were a Ravens money line bettor or even a spread bettor, I'm sure that one didn't feel great. I know my brother was pretty frustrated last night. He had some Zay Flowers props and Lamar Jackson missed him a few too many times. So we are back in that world of sports betting, all things sports. Football is back and I could not be more excited. And we also have another game tonight that I will actually be previewing with Nate Jackson and BK when we film off field at 11 a.m. Mountain Time today. If you guys didn't know, we are moving off field to 11 a.m. on Fridays, 11 a.m. Mountain Time. You guys can catch us breaking down the week one slate, the Sunday slate that we've got coming up, but also talking a little bit about tonight's Friday night game that is in Brazil, Eagles versus Packers. Lots of fun stuff happening. We won't talk and bore you with football on this daily show because we've got a football show coming up in less than an hour. But in speaking about Lamar Jackson, it does lead me to my very first point, which is Gatorade has signed 4 new athletes to endorsement deals, one of which is Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson, Vikings wide receiver Justin Jefferson, Rams wide receiver Puka Nacua, and flag football star Diana Flores. Awesome. Obviously, NIL, brand deals, partnerships, they're everywhere. Kevin Durant just announced he's partnering with FanDuel. All good things for these athletes. They deserve it. They generate a lot of revenue for the NFL, and the NFL, as we know, is arguably one of the most popular major sports. So super cool to see these athletes get the recognition they deserve, and even flipping cooler that one of them is a female flag football player. Shout out to you, Flores. You're a badass. Okay, moving on. How hard do you think it would be to be a loser for 20 years? And I know you're probably thinking, Liv, that's not very nice. Well, I'm only speaking facts here. And we do have Jay, who's normally running the board. This morning, we actually have Ruben. So everyone in the chat, say what's up to Ruben. But we usually have, there he is. Ruben is in the house with me. We're feeling excited. But normally we have Jay in here as well. And he is a big soccer fan. He took a look at my rundown this morning. He's like, oh my gosh, you are talking about San Marino. If you need any information, let me know. Basically, he told me just how crazy this win was for San Marino. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you're like, Liv, who the hell is that? It is the itsy-bitsy teeniest country that lies entirely within Italy, per my producer friend Jay, who is a huge soccer nerd, basically. But San Marino was playing in the UEFA's Nations League, okay, and went without a win for 20 years. The last time that they won was in 2004. Could you imagine? You train hard, you work hard, you show up every day, and you cannot get a win for 20 years. 20 years, okay? Yesterday, they beat Liechtenstein. I'm going to just hope that that's how you pronounce that, for their first competitive win since 2004, you guys. That is insane. To make it even better, it's not just a small country, okay? It's also the national team that is ranked 210th, dead last in the world. They are dead last in the world. They got their first win in 20 years. Congratulations to San Marino. Again, I think I have more respect for them, not because they won, but because they were able to continue playing, being a loser for 20 years. I don't know if I could do it. My ego would be bruised. I wouldn't be able to handle it. So congratulations to this team. How cool is that? Dead last. They were ranked 210th, got their first win in 20 years. So congrats to them. Are you sick of talking about Taylor Swift? Duh. I'm sure you are. And Taylor Swift looking good as ever. I have to now step into my very girly mode and say her outfit was fire last night at the Chiefs game. But if you're sick of Taylor Swift, if you're sick of hearing about Taylor Swift, if you're sick of her being shown at games, too bad, so sad, she is not going anywhere. The Chiefs are basically prepping on the back end for Taylor Swift to be at way more games this season. She's expected to attend more games for Kansas City in the NFL season this year. And Kansas City actually has 3 home games before Swift's tour picks back up in October. So buckle up, she's not going anywhere. Chiefs president Mark Donovan has made it clear that they do not want to make Taylor's attendance a big deal. Mark, be so effing for real. Okay. His exact quote is this: she wants to be a fan. It's not about doing too much or showing her for every touchdown. Pretty sure we see Taylor Swift for every touchdown. Do we not? I mean, last season, we saw her every play. Okay. So I love that Chiefs president Mark Donovan is really trying to pretend like he doesn't care that Taylor Swift is there and that she just wants to be a fan. Well, too bad. She's Taylor Swift. Okay. She's going to be seen. She's going to be talked about. I guess the first game she went to for Kansas City, she was actually able to walk through the main entrance with no issues. She had a hat, she had glasses, she had a COVID mask on. But now that people know she's going to be there, you're not just a normal fan. You are Taylor Swift, okay? I don't know how, in what world we think that we're not going to see her everywhere. We are going to see her everywhere. She will be shown after every touchdown. We know this. We know how much money she generated from her fan base to the Chiefs organization. I'm sure Kelsey jerseys were flying off the shelf. I'm sure people were watching every Kansas City Chiefs game because Taylor Swift was there and they wanted to see her. She has a very mega, she arguably could be one of the most popular pop stars, singers, performers of this current generation. So yeah, you're not just a fan. You're Taylor Swift. You're dating Travis Kelce, who, by the way, looks like a bozo right now. I don't like the haircut. I don't know what barber he went to. I don't know what he told his barber, but I'm not a fan. But again, he doesn't have to care what I think. He's dating Taylor Swift and he's a back-to-back Super Bowl champion. What do I know? Don't love the hair, but either way, Taylor Swift, she's not going anywhere, you guys. If you don't like her, tough. She's going to be at more games and they're going to continue to show her on the Jumbotron. So just know that. Top Golf, Callaway is planning to split. They are separating its primary brands into 2 independent companies. Callaway bought Top Golf in 2021 after 15 years of after their initial investment with the company. So they are parting ways. It'll be interesting to see what Top Golf looks like under somebody different. Callaway, they are splitting. This is a breakup, hopefully not a messy one. ESPN has announced that it will use generative AI to offer incremental recap stories for the Premier Lacrosse League and NWSL. Every time I do a daily update, I feel like part of what I talk about is robots taking over the world. I'm convinced it's happening. AI is everywhere. It scares the living hell out of me, especially because I've got a co-host on Off Field named BK who loves to say that in 5, 10, 15 years, robots will kill humans because we're not worth anything anymore. Hate that for us, but it might be the truth. AI is there. The coverage is set to debut this weekend. However, fans and media members outraged on social media by this. You have to understand, for so many years, a lot of these reporters, that's how they pay their bills, is writing post-game reports and posting them online. And in keeping people, it's journalism. It's called journalism. Look it up. We went to school and we studied this. I have a major in journalism. If we start having robots type out everything, I'm not sure I have a job, okay? So yeah, a little difficult. However, an ESPN spokesperson defended the use of technology and pointed to several personnel moves. So basically, the ESPN spokesperson fired back and said that this is a great opportunity. There's leverage with new technology. We're going to provide coverage of every PLL and NWSL matchup for the very first time. These automated recaps will allow ESPN staff to focus on feature analysis and breaking news coverage. They're basically saying we're trying to lighten their load. I don't know if they want it lightened. This is their work. This is their livelihood. This is their passion. Robots are taking over. If you're scared of robots, you should be petrified because AI is arguably the scariest thing in the world. It's fine. I don't know. I don't like how much AI knows about my daily life. I really don't. It freaking stresses me out. In some positive, also sad, but also very exciting news, after 15 years, U.S. soccer legend Alex Morgan is officially retiring. She announced in a selfie video that she posted. I saw it on Twitter for the first time. I'm sure she posted it across her social media platforms. That is where I saw it. I watched the whole thing. It was 3 minutes and 45 seconds, I believe. I watched the whole thing. And in this retirement video, she also very casually announced she is pregnant with baby number 2. So congratulations to Alex Morgan on this next chapter of her life. And a new baby, hopefully healthy and happy baby that she will give birth to. But we have to talk about Alex Morgan. She is a legend, okay? She's an NWSL champion, 2-time World Cup champion, Olympic gold medalist, a New York Times best-selling author, 2-time U.S. Soccer Female Player of the Year. She's got her own foundation and media company. She's got investments in golf, basketball, soccer. And we also have to talk about the impact she has had on women's soccer, bringing more attention to it, making sure these athletes are compensated well, they get the respect that they deserve. She has been monumental for this sport and for young female athletes that are hoping to eventually do what she did. So she's phenomenal. We will obviously miss watching her. If you want to watch her one final time, her final NWSL game is happening this Sunday. So make sure you tune in, send her all of your love and well wishes as she takes on this next chapter of her life as mom of baby number 2. And I'm sure hopefully she gets to reap the benefits of all the work she has put in for 15 years on the professional level. But playing soccer, I think she said in her video, for 30. So congratulations, Alex, on a phenomenal career. We wish you all the best. Big 12 Commissioner Brett Yormark has announced that the conference is pausing on expansion with UConn. Sorry, UConn. We're taking a pause here. He says, we will instead focus our attention to ushering in this new era of college athletics. Big 12 has made a lot of moves as of late. Maybe there's too much happening, too much change in a short amount of time. You want to focus on what you've got. Sorry, UConn. It's not happening right now. Thank God, from a basketball perspective, it's not happening right now. Because I would love to see my TCU Horned Frogs maybe do something in their in the basketball Big 12 world this year, but who knows? Big 12 for years has been one of the most competitive conferences, and once you added Houston, Baylor's always been in there. KU, when it comes to March Madness, I would argue Big 12 is the most competitive. So adding UConn would just be one more competitive team in there, but they're pausing on that for now. Maybe sometime down the line, but not right now. Magic Johnson. This is our final story for today. Magic Johnson is investing in the Washington Spirit. He is joining the NWSL's team's ownership group as a minority shareholder. His sports portfolio is growing. It now includes LAFC, the LA Sparks, the LA Dodgers, the Washington Spirit, and the Washington Commanders. Wow. Very heavily involved in the world of sports. It's been really cool. I think what we see a lot of times with these athletes, former athletes, is they either get into podcasting and broadcasting or they start investing in these teams. And honestly, I love when they start investing in these teams because they have the expertise, they know what it takes from the athlete side of things. But then to be on the flip side, I'm sure there's a lot to learn. He's involved in a lot. And I love that he's also involved in so many different female teams as well. Magic Johnson, you are awesome. We appreciate you. And I'm sure his portfolio is just getting started. There's probably a million more things he wants to be involved in, and I'm sure he will make it happen. So that has been your Guerilla Sports Daily for today. Like I said, we've got a Friday night football game tonight in Brazil. The Philadelphia Eagles taking on the Green Bay Packers. If you want to know what side of that game I am on, what bet am I taking, make sure you're tuning in to Off Field at 11 a.m. Mountain Time. That's just in 45 minutes. We'll be live with Nate Jackson and BK, breaking down tonight's game, breaking down the slate for Sunday, as well as, of course, breaking down the Denver Broncos taking on the Seattle Seahawks. So we are super excited. Make sure you're tuning into all things there, and we'll have content coming for you all week long. We'll also have a post-game live happening after the Broncos game. Immediately following the Broncos game Sunday, you can expect me live in the studio and Nate Jackson and BK at the stadium, talking all things Broncos. They're going to get some sound bites for us. They're going to talk to some players and some coaches. It'll be really great. So thank you guys so much for sticking around and hanging with me this morning. Have a wonderful Friday. Have a safe and happy weekend. We will be back again with more Guerilla Sports Daily starting Monday morning. Thank you for being here. Thank you for subscribing, following, tuning into all things Guerilla Sports all the time. We love you. We appreciate you. And we will see you in just 45 minutes for an episode of Off Field. Bye.